Hello and welcome back. Congratulations on writing first lines of code. Before we proceed, we'll deploy this code to Heroku. We need to take care of few steps before deploying. You'll do them in this video. Before we deploy to Heroku, we need to set some things so that all will work when we deploy to server. What we need to take care of is dynamic port binding. Heroku specifies the port to use, so we need to listen for it and use a specific port, not the port 5000 as default. The second thing we need to do is specify the version of nodes to use on Heroku server. Also, Heroku needs to know what script to run when starting an application. It does not know that it should use index.js. And for deployment, we'll use Git. Git is a versioning system very popular. I cannot even imagine how we were developing software before Git. It was a lot of mess. So you'll install it. And then, remember I told you that we won't be deploying all the node modules we install locally. We'll just deploy the package.json file and let Heroku take care of the rest. Heroku will add dependencies at deployment. We don't need to add them. We'll add everything we don't want to deploy to .gitignore file. Everything in this file will be ignored by Git. When you'll add gitignore file, you'll be ready to commit your code to Git. You'll add the files to Git and create the first commit. Okay. Before you deploy, you'll also create a Heroku account. We need an account if we want to host our project. Don't worry, Heroku has a free tier for development and smaller apps. It can then be easily scaled when application and usage grow. And we need to install the Heroku CLI, that is the command line interface, that will help us with creating and managing Heroku apps directly from terminal. You need it if you want to easily deploy your apps to Heroku. Let's go step by step. First one, dynamic port binding. How will we get the port name? Where will we listen for it? Well, port number will be an environment variable we can read. Environment variable is a dynamically named value that is assigned to the running process on the server. They are a part of environment where the app runs, okay? So let's go to the code, to index.js, and let's read it. Const port equals process dot innova dot port or 5000. That is, port will have a dynamic value read from environment variable on Heroku and a value 5000 on the local machine. Now we can pass it to listen method, like this. Okay, now we've taken care of step 1. What is the second one? Okay, we need to specify the node environment for the server. How can we do that? Remember when I told you that package.json is the meta information of the project, of your app? Yes, we need to specify this information in the package.json. So go to package.json file. This will be done with engines property. So engines, and in here we'll specify node and npm version. Therefore add node property and let it be empty string, like this. And also add npm property with an empty string also. And now I'll tell Heroku to use the exact same version of Node and npm that I have on my local machine. I'll go to terminal to see what they are. Now I'll open terminal and I write node-v. Okay, my version is 9.7.1. Yours might be different. You can write yours. So I'll go back to package.json and write 9.7.1 to Node engine. And let's do the same for npm. Back to terminal and write npm-v. Now write this version to metadata. Back to VipStorm. npm version will be 6.4.1 for me. And woohoo! You have completed step 2. The next step is start script that will tell Heroku what is the starting script to run when starting this app. Here in the scripts I will change test to start. And the starting script will be node index.js, like this. Okay, you're doing great. Okay, do you have Git on your computer? You don't know? Let's check. Go to terminal and write git --version. If you have it installed, you're fine. If you don't worry. It's free. You can install it in a matter of minutes. This is the link where you'll find the download. Link is in the resources. If you need to install it, pause the video and come back. I'll be waiting here. Okay, are you ready? Do you have Git installed? Okay. We'll now initialize a Git repository in our project folder. With this, we'll be able to maintain versions of our code. This course is not meant to teach you how to use Git and will only use the very basic commands. But if you're not using a versioning system on your projects, I warmly recommend it. Now the git ignore file. In here we'll tell Git what folders and scripts it needs to ignore when deploying to server. In WebStorm, that is the IDE of your choice, create the git ignore file. It starts with a dot and then git ignore. Like this. Now in here we'll add node_modules folder. Just write node_modules. And all that is in this folder will be ignored. Since I'm using WebStorm editor, I'll also add .idea. This is the folder WebStorm creates in the local directory for caching project settings. I don't want to commit these files neither. Okay, well done. Go to terminal. Are you in the projects folder? You need to be in the projects folder. Now write git init. This will initialize repository. Simple. Next we'll add files we have already created. So git add and a dot. Dot represents all the files in here. Okay. Now if you write git status, your files should be green. And woohoo, all is green. Now we can commit. Therefore commit -m initial commit. Like this. The next thing to do from our checklist is to create a Heroku account. If you already have a Heroku account, you can skip this step. Now open heroku.com page, go to prices. As I've told you, Heroku has a free tier. The downside is that your app will terminate if it is inactive for 30 seconds. That means your app will need more time to load if it is inactive and wants to start again. Okay? But again, Hobby tier is not that expensive if you want more features. Now go and sign up. Pause the video. I'll wait for you. Just one last step. Install Heroku CLI. Again, we needed to create and manage Heroku apps from the command line. Here is the link with Heroku CLI. Please install it before we proceed to the next video and deploy the app. I have it installed already. How can you check? Again, go to terminal and write Heroku-v. This should write out the version. Great! In this video, we've gone through pre-checklists for deploying to Heroku. In the next video, we'll make a first deploy. Don't worry, every development won't be that hard. Every development after this becomes really easy. So, when you have everything installed, do come to the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!